Well, for many of us, there are a few better sights in national hunt racing than seeing the top 2 mile chasers go at it hammer and tongs around Prestbury Park. It is, of course, the Queen Mother Champion Chase that is under early Ante-Post scrutiny. And here with their magnifying glasses, I'd like to say I'm joined by Nick Watts and Graham Rodway. And so, gentlemen, the general consensus is that the 2 mile division for the elder statesman is lacking somewhat in some kind of depth. This perhaps could be illustrated by the fact that the reigning champion size in Europe and Big Zeb are now the ages 10 and 11 respectively and still ahead the market. Nonetheless, Nick, size in Europe, always performs at Cheltenham. He's won the Arkle, he's won the Champion Chase, he's going for his 3rd win on the bounce at the festival. Odds of 9-4. He's been a great ally to you over the past. Are you going to weigh in again? He
has. He's been a great ally to me and a great enemy of Mr. Rodway in the middle there. I don't know, your intro said it all really, Ted. We've been asked to show a bit more enthusiasm in these forums, but I've got to say this is the one championship race I'm finding it hard to summon up much enthusiasm for, really.
It's a minefield from an Ante-Post perspective, isn't it?
Well, it's a lot of the same old faces. Well, like you said, sizing Europe against Big Zeb again, and you know, you see Big Zeb go through the season, he wins these little small field chases in Ireland, and he's beaten Noble Prince twice, and great, you know. Sizing Europe, in fairness, he did look immense last time when he won in the Tingle Creek. I mean, that was a performance worthy of a champion, I think. He's a year younger than Big Zeb. I think you have to be an exceptional horse to win at age 11. I think Moscow Flyer did it, but I'm not sure many others have done. Sizing Europe's a solid favourite. This race doesn't get my pulse racing, but Sizing Europe, I think, if you're being honest, is by far the most likely winner, because we know he comes good at Prestbury in the spring. He's banished memories of him not getting up the hill completely, because he won very comfortably last year. Obviously won the Arkle as well. He's a good jumper. He thrives on good ground. Henry's a Bromhead, a great trainer, getting ready on the day. Whether you want to take 9-4 now is a completely different issue, because he probably won't be a lot shorter on the day. So if you're asking me if I would back him now, no, I wouldn't. Would I back him on the day if he was about the same price? Then I probably would. But there's no need to take this price 2 months in advance or whatever it is.
And Graham, out of the old guard, if you like, 9-2 Big Zeb, 9-4 Size in Europe. Would you have a bet on either of those two?
Well, there's no doubt that Big Zeb's the better horse of the two, in my opinion. One of my worst experiences of last year has to be standing down at the final fence with Master Watts to my right and watching Size in Europe wing it and then fly up the hill. I can't make this horse out. He only won 1 race all last season, and Big Zeb beat him easily at Punchestown, but he did get it right when it mattered at Cheltenham, so you've got to give him credit for that. Henry de Bromhead's an excellent trainer who gets him to Cheltenham in top form, has proven to do it in the past several occasions. I've never really been able to get Size in Europe right since I backed him in the Champion Hurdle, and he looked like he didn't get up the hill, completely capitulated. Clearly something was amiss that day. This season, I'm not sure he has been so fantastic. I mean, Ruby Light would have beaten him first time out quite comfortably if he hadn't fell at the last. Probably should have won the next race when he got beaten by Slowboat, Quito de la Roque.
Also, an inadequate trip for Size in Europe.
Over a trip that he didn't stay, and he would have won it if he'd stayed. And then everyone's rattling on about this fantastic performance in the Tingle Creek, where he beat absolutely nothing. Wishful Thinking went off far too fast and ruined his chance. Cool-Toe Stone, who would be, well, has got absolutely no chance of winning a Champion Chase, chased him home. I mean, he was impressive, don't get me wrong, Size in Europe, he beat nothing. He's a terrible price at 9-4. Big Zeb's a much better horse. He won the Champion Chase a couple of years ago and put Size in Europe back in his place at Punchestown. And the problem is it's ground dependent, though. Right. Basically, if it's on the soft side at Cheltenham, then Big Zeb will beat Size in Europe. But if the ground comes up a little bit quicker, I would fancy Size in Europe to repeat last season's success. There's no value in either of them from an Ante-Post perspective.
So we have many people on our social media sites, especially on Facebook, have been echoing similar sentiments here. Liam O'Brien said it could become a huge tactical battle between Size in Europe and Big Zeb, which could easily leave the door open for the likes of Finian's Rainbow, Alpha or Pender's Cross potentially if those two aren't quite up to it. And Phil Sykes says, yeah, I backed Size in Europe last year, so confident from a long way out as he was just jumping them into submission. He won very easily, and I don't think anything can live with him given how well he jumps. And that really is the story of it, isn't it? Size in Europe comes well in the spring on good ground, and but as you say, from an Ante-Post perspective, you might as well wait for the day, I suppose. You're not going to lose a great deal in losing out on half a point potentially on either or. So we'll move down the list to Finian's Rainbow, who's third in the market. Nearly paid for my Lamborghini last year when I thought for all money he was going to win the Arkle, but unfortunately, no, wasn't to be. In a strange kind of way, Nick, I was weirdly impressed with his performance at Kempton. The actual form of it, you could say, wasn't any great shakes, but 6-7 lengths down coming to the last after his horrendous blunder, and showed a good attitude there to get out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great ride by Barry Geraghty, first off, because he's given him time to recover from the mistake and held him up and ready for a late burst, and that's what he managed to do as the leaders died in front. Yeah, I mean, he's got a solid enough chance. He's normally a very good jumper, and he beat Gizeo at Aintree at the end of last season through jumping, and that's his main strength when he's on song. He was fantastic in the Arkle. I mean, he really jumped the fences superbly well. The disappointing thing is, this is what I can't quite understand, is that Nicky Henderson's given him a Gold Cup entry, but the weakest part of his race last year was at the finish. I thought he was all over the win. I thought he'd jumped them into submission round in the home turn. I thought he's in for a comfortable win here. But he got outstayed by Captain Chris, who didn't just collar him at the last, he actually sprinted away from him.
And Nicky Henderson says he's a lot more relaxed this year, a lot more switched off. I think perhaps his hard-pulling tendencies from last year was why he expended too much energy at the start.
Yeah, I would take that into account slightly. I mean, obviously Henderson knows the horse better than anyone, and you remember that run at Warwick, the deeply disappointing run before Cheltenham,
Kingmaker,
when they tried to set them and put him in behind, and just didn't work. He didn't jump at all, and was very unimpressive. I think this horse is just much better bowling along in front and using that big stride and fantastic jump that he's got. But I still can't quite get that image out of my mind from last year that he didn't seem to get up the hill as well as Captain Chris, and that is a worry. Although him putting him in the Gold Cup, I don't quite get that.
Adds to the big conundrum of this race.
It does. Maybe he has relaxed. Maybe he does stay further now. And when he first got the horse, he thought he was a stayer until he realised that he was very good actually at 2 miles. Again, he's like, you can back him at 6-1 now, but again, with Big Zeb and Sizing Europe ahead of him in the market, I think he'd need something to happen to one of those two for him to come in massively before the start of the race. So would you want him to be getting on him now? And I'd probably say no. Again, why not wait for the day if you fancy Finian's Rainbow?
Yeah, why not indeed? And Graham, we look at the novices, if you like. It's been somewhat of a faux pas in recent years to consider running a novice outside into the championship race. I'm talking Queen Mother. Alfrov's only a tentative entry. Paul Nicholls has gone on record saying he still thinks the Arkle is the most likely race for Alfrov.
It's interesting. I don't really get the Paul Nicholls quote where he says in today's paper that the Arkle will be the race, and we shouldn't run novices against. Because why run in the Victor Chandler Chase? If you're going to go the Arkle route, why not just take another novice race? It must be there in the back of their mind somewhere that they're thinking, right, maybe we'll go for the Champion Chase just to give it a run in the Victor Chandler Chase. There's no point otherwise. So I wouldn't read too far into those comments from Paul Nicholls, because I know what John Howes is quite like as well as an owner, and he's quite bullish and he likes to have a go at these big prizes, and I can't believe if it wins the Victor Chandler Chase it won't go for the Champion Chase. I must just make a point about Finian's Rainbow, because I've backed Finian's Rainbow Ante-Post for this race. I backed him at 9-1, and a few weeks ago in the paper when he was 9-1 I put him up as my best value bet for Cheltenham. I think that he is the most likely winner of the race. He was very impressive at Kempton in my opinion. A lot of people crabbed that run, and Coral knocked him out to 9-1, so I snapped some of that up. I think he did absolutely nothing wrong for an horse that made a massive error. To then come through and win in the fashion that he did suggested to me that he was in a different class to the other two. Suggested to me that he was a different class to Wishful Thinking and Oiseau de Nuit, which is not a bad class to be in if you're in a different class to those two, because they're pretty useful. Obviously, Tom Siegel today tipped Wishful Thinking, and he must have thought Wishful Thinking was below par that day. And he does make the point that he comes better fresh, and maybe that was a below par Wishful Thinking. But you can't take away from Finian's Rainbow. He did it nicely, and I think he's the most likely winner of the race. But the value is now gone, 6-1. I can't see him being much shorter than that. Even if he wins the Victor Chandler Chase on Saturday, he's only going to be a 4-1 chance. There's no point taking the risk. For 2 points, you might as well wait.
Okay then, and Nick, we've touched on Graham's touched on the price-wise selection there. Wishful Thinking. by all accounts, looked like a superstar at the end of last season. Been stuttering so far. Price-wise, has gone the argument he'll come better for the spring grounds. Declan Ricks and Paul Biggerstaff both share that on Facebook. They just think the value lies with him. He has good course form and will be better as the season progresses. The price now is obviously 12-1, as Price-wise has put it up. Do you think there's any value there now still?
Yeah, possibly. There's a few points in there. I mean, if you look at his form at the back end of last season, like Tom correctly states, I mean, he's beaten Medemit by 10 lengths. Of course, he won the Haldon Gold Cup and shown very good handicap form this season, Medemit. And then he's given something like £23, I think, to Blazing Tempo at Punchestown, winning under top weight. And Blazing Tempo then's gone on one of the Galway Plate and won a few other races as well. So
breathing problems have sufficed, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, he was unstoppable in the spring, but you look at his first 2 runs this season, I mean, they were abominable. You know, the Cheltenham run was very disappointing first time when he seemed to cut out, and then I think he thought the Sandown race, the Tingle Creek, was a 5 furlong event, because he's just gone off like a scolded cat and was never going to get home. Much better last time. There's a lot more to take from that run, I think. I mean, I take G-Rod's point of view that without the mistake, Finian's Rainbow is probably a comfortable winner. So he's probably, he might be slightly flattered by the fact he came so close.
You're going for one at a big price, Nick. Can you enlighten us?
Well, I can do, yeah. I'm not sure many of the viewers will agree with me, and they might think I've lost my marbles, but
a few of us thought that many.
That wouldn't be the first time at all, no. But I think, to sum it up, I think Sizing Europe is by far the most likely winner, but I'm not going to recommend him now at 9-4 because for reasons we've already discussed. And you look through the race, again, we've said, you know, Hold Fast is going like the masterminded route because he won the same Sandown handicap as him last time. I can't see that he's in the same league as that. Summersby's going to go for the Ryanair. Gizeo's not going to run, apparently. Cato Stone, Ryanair. Real Dub, Ryanair. For Paddy de Plaster, not good enough. Blazing Tempo, not really good enough. So we're going down the list now, and I'm seeing a 66-1 shot who hacked up at the festival last year in the Grand Annual. Loves that, loves Cheltenham. Likes a really good fast run 2 miles, and his name's Wazo Denui. 66-1. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he got a place, and if he can grab a third, second or third, he's done his job because you'll get a nice each-way return on that. And the form he has shown, I mean, he wasn't far off Finian's Rainbow and Wishful Thinking last time at Kempton. Travelled like the best horse in the race for a long way. Travelled really, really well. And it might not be his tracks, Kempton, you know, sharp right-handed venue. And look, we've already said that we don't think this is a very good renewal. So could there be a shock result? I think if there was, it's him that could provide it.
OK then, so Wazo Denui at 66-1 for Nick there. Graham, you've been looking through Ladbrokes concession of the non-runner no bet markets, and the Peterborough Chase winner Gourvain is jumping out at you.
Yeah, I mean, Nick is absolutely right. I mean, what you've got to do in this race from an Ante-Post perspective is look for the value outside the top 3, and I think Finian's Rainbow will win the race, as I've said. But Gourvain at 20-1 with the run, Ladbrokes concession, I think is a fair bet. There's no doubt that Gourvain, I think, has got the talent to contest the Champion Chase. I'm not sure it's good enough to win one, but it was very impressive at the course first time out this year. When easily beating Walk and Folly by 16 lengths. Then fell next time out in what I thought was a poor Tingle Creek, and I would have liked to have seen him stand up. I think he may well have given Sizing Europe a bit more to think about than Sizing Europe had to. And then next time out, contested the Peterborough Chase and was a very impressive winner, there's no doubt about it. Coming off the home turn, he left them for dead, pulled well clear. Summersby was coming home quite strongly as always, but Gourvain was always holding him, albeit that was over 2.5 miles. And after the race, jockey Noel Feely said that he won't have the pace for a Champion Chase. However, if the ground was to come up on the soft side, it would become a bit more of a stamina test. Who's to say he wouldn't have the pace? If it was good ground, then maybe they'll go Ryanair, I would suggest. That's why you've got to back it with Ladbrokes on the non-runner no bet. But if we get a bit of cut in the ground, it could quite easily contest the Champion Chase. It comes into the race with 2 impressive wins this year out of 3 runs. Last time out, thrashing Summersby as easily as Masterminded has done all those times. But as a result, they still left it out 20-1. So I think that's a fair bet against the top 3. Don't get me wrong, the top 3 are the most likely winners.
OK then, so from the Ante-Post perspective, we have Wazo Denui at 66-1. We're going to weigh in with Gourvain on the non-runner no bet with Ladbrokes at 20-1. Well, I should be coming up with a long shot, but I've had them all stolen from me, so I'm going to sit it out from an Ante-Post perspective. But if my old friend Gazeo does line up, I'm still convinced he can run one big race, but I'm sitting it out for now. So thanks for watching, and see you again soon.